Hello, Tiffany here with Cards Crafty Creations. Today's project is for Pajama Crafter Stamps using the Totally Awesome birthday stamp. So you can see it is toads and they're having a great old time for the birthday party with some birthday sentiments. I'm going to use this Himi gouache set that I got last year, and I pretty much only used it to swatch the colors and then didn't use it again till now. And so I thought this would be a perfect project to try this on. And so I got the set out and started playing around with the colors. Now it does look like they are dried out, which they indeed are dried out. When you get them, it's really creamy, pigmented paint. And if you don't use it, as everything has, it dries out. But you can reactivate it with water, and so all is well. I decided to pre-stamp the leaves, the foliage, and the frogs first with black embossing powder. I wanted to have this as a multiple layer picture, and I really don't know how I kind of came up with this idea. I kind of just kept looking at the stamp set and thinking, what could I do with it and how would I do it in my style? And I came up with painting these really colorful frogs and instantly thought, okay, I'm gonna get some leaves and foliage and plants from my stash, and then I'm going to paint these frogs like the poisonous rainforest type frogs that they are. Well, actually, these are toads, but I painted them like the rainforest frogs because I wanted the vibrant colors. And so I just went online and looked up rainforest frogs and poisonous frogs, you know, because if they're really colorful frogs, then they're 99% poisonous. I don't know that fact. I don't study frogs or toads, but that's what I've heard anyway. So I wanted to do them really colorful and bright and just have them in this kind of jungle-esque area, background, environment. That's the word. And so, like I said, I had stamped the frog with just black ink. So the paper that I'm actually working on is, sorry, I hit the mic. My eye is itching. Hold on. Okay, so the paper that I'm actually using is a tax folder because, as you know, I'm an accountant and our office has these fancy black folders that the tax returns go in, and they are thick. They are really thick. They're like kind of board-like. Not quite board. They're not like chipboard or anything or cardboard, but they're just really thick. So that's what I wanted to use because I wanted to see if it was going to hold up to all the water I was going to put on it using this paint medium. And it sure did. It didn't warp at all. It didn't, look how it takes the pigment. It's just so bright and vibrant on the black that I was just having the best time coloring with it. In fact, I want to just like, you know, when you find something new that you really like and enjoy, you just want to use it for everything you're doing. But I'm trying not to do that. I have a lot of coloring mediums and they all deserve their time to shine. So, but I think that this came out really well. So if you get your tax return done by an accountant and it comes in a fancy folder, see if they'll give you some extra ones. Anyway, so I pretty much just, when I am painting with this, because they are all dry, I pick out the colors I want to use, and then I use my Tim Holtz water bottle and I spray it into the paint pan and just reactivate it. It dries right back up, so you do have to kind of keep doing that. But I just really have enjoyed painting with these. They are very pigmented. They are very creamy, and they go on really well. In fact, like, I mean, for them going onto some solid black, I think they're standing out quite well. And then the more layers you put on of them, then the brighter they get. So I had stamped these in just black ink on the black folder, and it came out okay, but it had a lot of potential for me to go outside the lines. So I found that if I stamped it in black embossing ink, it created kind of a well for the paint to rest inside. So it really didn't go outside the lines unless I went outside the lines. Kind of kept it all contained, and also kept like the black outlines to keep the definition of the toads. I'm gonna say frogs this whole time, they're toads. In lieu of me saying frogs, just know toads. So I did the same thing with the leaves and the toads. And I think it just helped it to stay, well, if I hadn't had done that, that leaf you see there, the bright green one, I would have painted over all of the lines, and then we would have lost the definition of the leaf, and then I'd have to go draw them back in and try and remember where they were. So I think doing the embossing powder was really the way to go on this project. And honestly, my embossing powder is so neglected, like it is underutilized. And so I need to start using it some more. It does have a good purpose and a good place in this community. So I will be getting some more of that out, hopefully. So after I painted everything, as you can see with the other toads, I'm adding detail to them with my fine liner pens. These aren't anything special. They're from Hobby Lobby, and I got the biggest, not the biggest pack, but I got a good size pack. And I don't know why, but this year I have just, maybe into last year, I just started embracing all kinds of line art on all of my images. If I'm doing a person, I line art their hair. I put dots and flowers on their clothes. These frogs, toads needed some more character. Oh, there's Seeger is visiting. Needed some more character, so I brought those pins out, my white gel pen, and I just added highlights and spots and all kinds of things, because I did try to stay like kind of, actually I just kept the color palette of the these are frogs, the ones that I used as my reference, and use their color palette to determine what I was going to use for my toads. And then after painting all of the greenery, so the first page I showed at the very beginning, that was me testing out all the greenery, what colors I was going to use, what my color combination was, what line work I was going to do on it, so that I could also do that on the background. So the one I'm working on right now is the actual background. That's going to be our main back page. And then I'm going to cut the other one out that had all the names of the inks and stuff on it. And then those will become like my multiple dimension. Now, something that I learned, and I don't know, like, it was just happenstance because I didn't like something and I thought, well, what could I do to fix it? So you can see on those bright green leaves with the 3 leaves, I have the white dot at the end. Well, I thought that the white dot was just a little bit too harsh and it was kind of bothering me. And so I had my water brush with me, so I was like, well, let me see if I can like wet it and remove it. And in doing so, I discovered that that gel pen will reactivate. It never occurred to me. Of course it will reactivate. It's not like a permanent marker. But it never occurred to me to even consider taking a white gel pen and turning it into paint. So that's what I'm doing here, is because I thought those were too harsh. So I got some water on my brush and I am just smoothing out that white and letting it blend into the other part of the leaf. The other thing you just saw me doing was they have some Papermate Joy pens, which are really good pens for line work. They actually have a set of gold, copper, and silver, and so I took the gold one and drew some accent lines on those like turquoise flowers, and then even the green ones that I was just working on. So, oh, and you see, I also discovered that on the frog toads too, that I can take the gel pen and kind of smudge out with water and get it to blend out a little more, so it's not just this harsh white gel pen line. So I did actually enjoy that discovery and hope that I don't forget about it. The other thing with gouache is it's water based, so I had gotten it outside the line, so you just reactivate it with water and soak it up with a paper towel and it will most part go away. I can see it right now, but that's okay because we're gonna put a bunch of leaves on here. So after I did all the painting and all the line work, then I cut everything out. That was a good sit on the couch and watch TV project to cut all of this out, because remember, it's like hardboard. So using my little fussy cutting scissors, it took me a while. It was really wearing on my hands to cut those all out, but I did it, and worth every minute of it. Then, because I wanted it to be multi-dimensional, as you've seen me do if you've watched my videos before, when I have to raise up the layers really high, I like to use chipboard scraps, which I actually happen to have black chipboard scraps. So I made a bunch of spacers with them, and so that I could pop the frog toads up as high as I wanted them to be and not have to worry about them like getting smashed or anything. So I had pre-made those to fit the elements that I wanted to have raised up high. And then the ones, so it's almost kind of like 3 layers. You have your background layer, you have a layer that is the foam dots, and then you have the bigger chipboard layer. So there's quite a bit of dimension on here for this project, but it's all worth it because remember, this is like a jungle, like they're out in the jungle, and so you want it to have a lot of dimension for them to be hopping around in. After I get all of these in place where I want them to be, I was about done with it, and I had sat back and was just kind of thinking about like my next move. Do I do anything else? Does it need more leaves? Does it need something else? Should I put white specks or splatters back there? Like, what should I do? Oh, hello, Seeger. He's back again. He was actually like, I don't know if it's in this. Yeah, it's later on in the video. He tries to pull the leaves off and take it away. And so I'm kind of having to shoo him away later on so he'll stop trying to pull them off. We've decided to call him Destructo Cat because he destroys a lot of things while he's playing. But that's an orange cat for you. And so let's just finish up putting these on. I did kind of place them before the video, before recording this, just to kind of get a good placement of where I wanted them to be. And so I kind of had my phone up over there so that I could see where I had staged them all. See, I put that leaf up there by that toad, and he keeps trying to steal it because that's what he does. He's trying to participate, but he doesn't understand that I need that. So as I was trying to figure out if this needed anything else, like I said, splatters or anything, then my husband walked by and he's like, oh, you know what you should do? You should put glow-in-the-dark eyes on there. And I was like, huh, well, I didn't really go glow-in-the-dark eyes, but every crafter has a good portion and collection of googly eyes. So I thought, well, that's almost glow-in-the-dark, but I mean, they do make glow-in-the-dark ones. That unfortunately is not in my collection. But I thought I would get some googly eyes and put those in there, like there's more frogs, toads back there watching out at us. They're hiding in the dark background. And then after that, then I thought this needed some more stuff. So I got these flower gems from Hobby Lobby in their spring section, like, you know, when they get to like 90% off. And I bought those and I've had those in my stash. So I thought these were perfect. They're like rhinestones, and they're the colors that I used, and I think it just finished it off, filled in those gaps some. So I was pretty pleased with those options, the googly eyes, and then adding those. So that's our project. I really did have some fun using that paint and really enjoyed it, and I hope that you did too. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you like this stamp set, go check it out on Pajama Crafter Stamps, along with a lot of other fun stamps that they have. All right, well, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!